What's up YouTube? My name's McLean.
And I'm Gabby, and we're the drivers behind the Off-Road Rhino.
Alright guys, so these Fender flares, we've gotten a lot of questions about what kind of flares they are, so I just looked them up on my phone. I'll post a link in the description where you guys can get to them too on Amazon. These are the Aries 1500202 Jeep raw aluminum front Fender flares. We'll go ahead and put a link in the description for you guys so that you can find them. You can pick these up on Amazon for $313, and they also have a black powder coated version for about $30 more. The rear flares back here, we'll put a link in the description for these as well, but these come raw aluminum for $306, and the powder coated version is about same price, $304. So you can get these either in raw aluminum and paint them the color of your Jeep, or you can get the powder coated and they'll just come black. So another question that we get all the time about our flares is what kind of texture are they? Most people see their flares on extreme terrain and other off-roading websites. They come powder coated, and so they're a rougher texture. Ours we ordered in raw aluminum so that we could paint them to match the color of our Jeep, and they're very smooth. They've got a little bit of texture in them now from the rocks over time, as they should. Very smooth texture, so if you're looking for something that you can paint and have it match the overall finish of your Jeep, these are definitely a good flare to go with. Since we went ahead and it was time to upgrade our tires, we had some 33-inch tires before and they were starting to get old and cracky. So we upgraded our tires to 37s, and we weren't going to be able to fit the 37s under the stock flares with the lift that we bought our Jeep with. So we had to get some flat flares right away. I really like the look of the Saharas that have the Fender flares that match the color of the body. So we wanted to find something in raw metal that we could go ahead and paint. So another question we pretty regularly get is, how's the installation for these? I installed these myself, so they came in the raw aluminum. I painted them. By no means am I any professional painter, and this was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, to be honest. So if you really pride in the way your Jeep looks, I would recommend having them professionally painted to match your Jeep if you're willing to put the money towards it. But in my opinion, I mean, we wanted to take these off-roading. They've already got a bunch of dings and scratches in them. I mean, I don't mind that the paint job on them isn't perfect. So somewhere down the line, if anybody wants to know, I can go over the process that I use to paint them, take them from the bare aluminum to the auto paint, but that'll be for another video. The installation process on these was pretty easy. Once they were all painted, you just need to remove your stock Fender flares, and they just bolt up in here. There's only about 2 or 3 holes that you'll need to drill for the front, and if you're uncomfortable drilling into the body of your Jeep, maybe these flares aren't for you. But honestly, it's pretty easy. You'll just mark the holes, drill them, paint the area so that your body doesn't rust, and then you insert the threads so that the bolts can go in. Alright, so pros and cons of these flares. Overall, I really like them. Gabby and I love the way that they look. They have an aggressive style to them, and we get complimented on them all the time. Some of the downsides though, just to be aware of, they are made out of aluminum, and so they can be a little bit more noisy than your stock flares were if you've got rocks flipping up underneath on the trail. I mean, it's no big deal. We just turn the music up loud anyway, and it's not like your Jeep doesn't already have a bunch of other noises going on that you're trying to tune out. Another thing to keep in mind is you can see all of our mud sprayed up all over here. There's this little gap between our rock sliders and our flares where mud just shoots up from our tires, and if we're out wheeling in some deep mud or anything, mud comes up all over this area. So, and if you're a Jeeper, that shouldn't be a real issue for you. The dirtier the better, but if you're trying to keep things clean, you might prefer a flare that gets a little bit more coverage down here in this area.
Alright guys, that about wraps it up for the questions on the Fender flares. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to send us a message. Be sure to like and subscribe, and go follow us on Instagram at Off-Road Rhino.